Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aries energy. And for this round, we're going to do a 10-card spread. We're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. People will harness this energy and be in these energies differently, depending on if they harness high vibe Aries energy, a more worldly focused Aries energy, or a more shadowy Aries energy. And we all have free will, based on the lessons that we've learned in life. How we're living life and the decisions that we make in our life. If your high vibe is kind of, you're learning lessons, you're listening to your intuition, you're letting love kind of guide the decisions that you're making. Otherwise, you might let fear and insecurity and pride and ego or codependency drive your decisions. Some people are more motivated by the world right now, maybe more focused on putting effort into their career than a romantic relationship. Some people are always more interested in the world. That is what drives and motivates them. It's more important to them and what they think will make them happy are these things of the world, and they value those things more than love. Not everybody wants to do love. We can get hurt doing love. And some people have decided, I'm not doing love. I'll just kind of indulge myself in relationships, but I'm not going to authentically, emotionally invested in someone. It's kind of letting their ego run their life. Their protective shield is like their false persona out in the world, getting in relationships because they don't let their more authentic, vulnerable nature out to play in the world. So, the truth sets us free. If we harness, which we all tap into Aries energy, if we harness high vibe Aries energy, we'd want to be in a relationship with people who harness high vibe Aries energy. If we have a more worldly focused Aries energy, we'd want to be in a relationship with people who are more aligned with those same things that we're motivated and inspired by. We all like to hang out with people who are kind of on the same page as us. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story. Listen to your intuition about where other people are at in the story. So the overarching reason for the reading is the Five of Swords, which is Aquarius energy, which has to do with our dreams and our truth. The Five of Swords comes after the Four of Swords. Have we healed from past pain and heartbreak to be free of it and to look at life from a higher perspective, to not give up our dreams, still have hope and faith and belief in love, and we're ready to take action on that truth? Or did we have pain and heartbreak? We pondered on it for a while, and then we decided in our pride and ego, I know best. And it isn't to offer love or to heal from the situation or deal with the truth of it. I'm going to just try to manifest my dreams into reality without healing from it. Or I'm going to make my life more about the world and myself and my ego and my defensive nature, and it's going to be all about me from now on. We either deal with the truth or we keep not wanting to deal with the truth and we keep having this mental conflict. Other people change. They go through these life experiences. Things don't work out the way they want. They deal with the truth of it. How did I have to grow and heal and mature? What about the kind of people I was dealing with? Where do they need to grow and heal and mature? And then we deal with the truth of it. We do what we can. The only person we can change is ourselves. The Fives can talk about change. I can't change other people, but if I've seen the truth that what we're driven and motivated by, what our dreams are, what we're open to, what we're defensive to, we have different dreams, well, then I need to deal with the truth of that. And if I've gotten in relationships with people that cause me mental conflict, why does it cause me mental conflict? If I'm someone who doesn't want to do love, well, then I should see I don't want to be in relationships with people who do love, because I've learned that's not how I want to live my life, and I should focus my life on people who are more about the world. If I'm someone who likes to do love, and I've gotten myself in relationships with people who are kind of have some issues that make them not a loving person to be around, if I meet new people who have those same traits and qualities and characteristics, I should not date them. I deal with the truth of the situation. And then there's some people, the Five of Swords can talk about people who want to win at all costs. They don't deal with the truth of it. They don't realize the truth of themselves. I want what I want, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it. I don't care who I hurt. I don't care if I love them. I don't care if they love me. If we can work together and I can get them to work with me to get those things I want, then I'm going to do it. So, what's going on in Aries energy? We have the Queen of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Hermit. Emotionally, the queens and the feminine figures in tarot can talk about how we think and feel. The masculine energies can talk about the action that we're taking in the world and how we present ourselves in the world. But we can all present ourselves in the world whatever way we want, but how do we really think and feel? You know, we can present ourselves as a much more mature person and a healed person than we really are. So there's some people in the world who like staying in denial of the truth. There's a way of living life. I want to live my life like that. I could have a fear of change. I want to turn my back on change. Nope, don't want to do life any differently. Nope, don't want to look at life from a higher perspective. Nope, don't want to go within to deal with the things I prefer to keep hidden in the dark. I like to stay in denial of those things. And there's some people in the world that are like that. And then they like to be in relationships with other people who are in denial of the truth that, you know, love is the answer. Love is what makes it all worthwhile. But some people don't want to do love. I want to look like a shining star in the world. I want these things of the world like other people have. I might want to get married. I might want to have children. I might want to be successful in my career. But I don't want to see the truth that I maybe should look at life from a higher perspective. It's not just all about me. Maybe I should try to grow and heal and mature myself to work with people cooperatively. You know, but we can all have things about us that we don't want to see the truth about. There's certain ways of viewing life, and that's the way we want to view life. So let's continue on with those people. So then we have the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Five of Swords. The Five of Pentacles can talk about our philosophy of life. I have this way of viewing life. This is how I want to keep moving forward in life. This is what motivates and inspires me in my Knight of Wands. I am going to go try. I don't want to move forward in life differently. I want to keep moving forward the way I view life. So I'm going to go try to find someone who I think also might love living life the way I live it, where I don't have to do this inner work, where I don't have to heal or grow or mature myself or believe in a higher truth or justice. I'm more conformed to maybe a more worldly view of life. There is no higher truth or justice to aspire to. If the world told me that what makes me look successful is to sit in my front yard and eat apples and bananas all day, I would be sitting in my front yard eating apples and bananas all day. You know, or I have these things that I love doing and how I love living life. And the whole thing is, we all also just go through certain phases of life. Sometimes we're going through a phase of life, just like we did age 15, 18, 21, age 25. Sometimes we're still enjoying that phase of life and other people are moving on. You know, I've kind of outgrown that. I'm ready to face my fears. I'm kind of inspired, you know, to make peace with the past and, you know, continuing to live my life like that. It just doesn't seem to be aligned with my truth anymore. You know, now I have a different dream and now I want to go to the next phase of life and live my life like that. You know, we all outgrow certain phases of life at different times than other people. And so instead of some people necessarily being shadowy, you know, it can just be that we're kind of ready to move forward in life. You know, high vibe energy is about being more independent, having worked through some things that were to face our mental conflict about believing in our dreams with the Three of Wands over here. And then these two cards were not showing themselves. the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is also Virgo energy, like the Hermit card. I could keep deceiving myself. I could keep living my life the way I've been living it, even though it's causing me all this mental conflict and inner conflict, because I kind of think I'm kind of indulging myself in my more immature nature, because I don't have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. So, just like when we were young, am I going to move out? Am I going to go get a job? Am I going to go to college? Am I going to date someone? We have to overcome our fears that keep us repeating an old pattern. And sometimes we'll keep repeating that old pattern, even though it does cause us all this mental conflict, which is what the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords can talk about. But when some people started to have some mental conflict within them as they were kind of moving forward in a certain phase of life, even though there was things they still liked about that phase of life and people in their life that they loved and would like to still keep hanging out with, eventually they just kind of realize, I don't know, they listen to their intuition. I just feel like, maybe I'm not growing to my full potential. Maybe I am being, this was fine for a certain phase of life, but I kind of feel like, it's kind of keeping me at a more immature way of being. And I've been here and I've done this enough, And then they kind of did this work within themselves, kind of behind the scenes, to start to work through why, here we have the Two of Swords again, right there. So then with the 2 and the 5, we get the 7. The 5 is kind of like, I have a dream. Am I willing to listen to my intuition? My soul is kind of calling me and telling me, I don't know, if you keep living your life like this, when we first enter a phase of life, however we're living life, oh my gosh, I love this. This is great. I want to live my life like this forever. But then as time goes by, in the 5 of Pentacles, it's like, the luster's kind of worn off. We've been there and done that. How long can we stay at a certain phase of life and living life a certain way? It just kind of becomes like stagnant and old, right? And life-giving energy is about going with the flow, where we learn the lessons we were meant to learn from that phase of life. We face our fears and insecurities, even though there's things about that phase of life that we can love. We're not going to keep growing and maturing to our full potential, and our dreams aren't going to come into reality if we don't work through this mental conflict that we have about going to that next phase of life. The 8 of Pentacles is looking that way, moving forward. Why, before the 8 of Pentacles was the 7 of Pentacles. And the 7 of Pentacles, like the 5, the 6, and the 7 of Pentacles, is Taurus energy. We had this way of viewing life. Isn't this supposed to make me happy? Don't I want to invest in those things? I thought if I invested in those things, I'd be happy. And yeah, there's a certain time of life that we kind of invest in certain ways of living life, because that's where the stage of life we're at. It's the way we view life. It's the way we could view relationships, or the way we could view the world. But there comes a time where we've kind of learned everything we were kind of meant to learn at that phase of life. It's time to go to the next phase of life. And some people did do this work within themselves to figure out, why do I have fear of going to that next phase of life? Am I afraid it won't work? I'll fail. Well, that would be us staying in our ego. Well, I'm afraid if I go get a new job, even though I might not like this job, and I've learned everything I was meant to learn here, I'm afraid I might fail at that job. I like to stay in my comfort zone. And there are things I like about it, but maybe I learn more skills, and maybe I'm only getting paid a certain amount of money. When I first took that job, the amount of money they paid me was fine. But over time, we kind of feel like they're not paying us enough money because I feel like I've learned that job. I think I could go and get a new job or take a different position where I would make more money. And I would be utilizing the skills that I've learned. I think I'm capable of it. And the same thing can happen in relationships. We first get in a friendship or a relationship or join an organization or whatever, and initially it's like, oh my gosh, I love this, you know. But are the people that we're in relationships with, is everybody doing this work within them to grow and heal and mature themselves? Or are some of them like, no, I like living my life like this forever? It's like, are we ever going to move forward and do things any differently? Do you have a certain way of being that, some people kind of like to play like the nurturing role in a relationship? I like to have people who feel left out in the cold to come get in a relationship with me, and then I, in my Queen of Cups energy, whether they're male or female, I like to play that mothering role to people who feel stuck. And they can be a person who's loving and nurturing to you. But then, it's just like children grow up, and children want to be treated more independently. The relationship needs to change. I'm not a child anymore. And they want to kind of move forward to bring the dream into reality where we are working together more cooperatively in a relationship. And that can be a problem in a relationship because the other person's like, well, no, I don't like to do that. I like this type of dynamic. You're supposed to stay feeling left out in the cold, hurt, fearful, insecure, not loving and believing in yourself. You're not supposed to want to change because I don't want to change. This is the relationship dynamic I like. And then some people are kind of like, but I'm not the same person I was. When we could have gotten in a relationship, I could have been looking for a nurturing, loving person. And I appreciate that you're a loving, nurturing person. But now I want the relationship dynamic to change. I don't want it to be where I'm like the child and you're like the parent. You're like the teacher. I'm like the student. I've learned things during this life experience. And now, I might feel more confident about myself and believe in my dreams. And sometimes that's when some people are like, they even do things purposely to make you feel left out in the cold because that's not the type of relationship they want. You can go, I'm going to go find someone else to go invest my time, energy, and effort into, because with the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, you did change. You're not the same person you were, but that's the only type of relationship dynamic I like. Because then people view me as this loving person. I view myself as a loving person. But they're kind of wanting to stay in that version of themselves. And where it gets to be where, it's not like this imbalanced power dynamic where, well, no, you view me as the loving person and you're the more codependent person. I like being like this elevated person in your life. I like to be that elevated person in people's lives. And if you have healed where now we're more on equal give and take, the fives can talk about balance where I'm not up in my head, I'm not down in my emotions, it's kind of like a level playing field. Well, some people are like, that's a different dream. I dreamed of doing this. And it can be hard. So then those people are always just looking for kind of like new people to get in a relationship with, in a way. Once the people that they provided maybe some loving and nurturing to, they want you to keep staying codependent on them, kind of indulging them in a more ego position. You're supposed to defer to me. I'm like the teacher, you're like the student. I'm like the boss, because Aries energy can be about, I like to be the boss, and you're not the boss. I like the power dynamic of not equal give and take. And some of those people don't realize that about themselves. They might kind of wonder why I'm confused why people don't stay in a relationship with me. Well, did those people offer them love and encouragement to move forward with them? But shadowy Taurus can be that they're kind of stubborn, prideful, unbudging. No, I'm going to keep doing this. And they keep, we all have these dynamics that we play out in relationships. I'll do this, you do that. I'll act like this, you act like that. And we can all do that for a while in a relationship. And it can work, because of just where we're at in life. But eventually, the people that have dealt with some of their issues are ready to move forward in life differently. They offer love and encouragement to the people they're in a relationship with. From the 2 to the 5 of Swords is the 3 of Swords, Libra energy, about the scales of justice. A way we used to interact could have been just and fair at a certain place in time because of where we both were, how we viewed life, things like that. But now I start to have mental conflict with it because what I think, what we think is just and fair, like how to interact in relationships like we did at age 15 is probably different than age 18 and 21. But again, that same dynamic happens throughout our life. And certain people, at what time do we get to a certain stage in life? And then we're like, no, I'm not looking at life any differently. This is the way I view relationships. This is how I view people I get in relationships with. This is how I want to interact with people I'm in a relationship. And I refuse to change. We could feel that some of those people are a little immature. Kind of have some growing up to do. Maybe emotionally kind of immature. Sometimes we can feel like, we feel like they think it should be more about them. Like the scales of justice should always be kind of tipped in their favor. Because they're unwilling, we have a way of viewing life that could be like the 4 of Pentacles. And then if we listen to our intuition and we work through some of our own inner issues of fear and insecurities and defensiveness or, growing and maturing ourselves, getting out of our more self-centered nature, our bossy nature, whatever kind of issues we need to deal with. Then we go to the 5 of Pentacles. We've incorporated some truth into our philosophy of life. And we kind of let go of some ways of viewing life that at one time we thought was just and fair, but we're not that person anymore. We've changed, we've grown up, we've matured, we've healed some, and we're ready. We have mental conflict of like repeating that relationship dynamic with someone, Like we all could have been in friendship groups or relationships maybe where we kind of tolerated people who are more bossy or controlling, right? Or rude or something, or manipulative. Well, then we go through that life experience. We detach from those people. We get to know other people. Well, now we're not hanging around people who are manipulative, kind of bossy or controlling. And then we could meet someone else and they do have those traits and characteristics. And it's like, wait. Yeah, no, I am not going back into a relationship dynamic like that. I could be attracted to you. I could kind of, a lot of things about you would kind of, and I could view you like a loving person, but you seem to have these issues that you don't want to deal with. And then as people have learned these lessons in life, it's like, as I'm moving forward in my life and I meet people that I'm attracted to, and then I get to know them some, and then it can be like, ooh, wait. Yeah, no. I have been there and done that, and I have a dream I want to have come into reality, and I don't want to repeat being in a relationship because I've already been in a relationship with people who are defensive to love, people who are stubborn, people who are like this imbalanced power dynamic in a relationship. I'm not doing that. And even though it causes us mental conflict, we realize that if we don't listen to our intuition, which was given to us as a gift to help us navigate our life, we could move forward with those people, and we're going to feel left out in the cold, and we're going to have all this mental conflict, and our dream isn't going to come into reality because they have the free will choice. They've went through the debate process within themselves to be the type of person they are. Do I like this? Do I like that? Do I want to be like this? Do I want to be like that? And they chose free willingly to harness these certain ways of being and philosophies of life. It's like, oh my gosh, I am not going to try to change somebody's philosophy of life. That you may never change, or it could take decades to get you out of some way of viewing life that in your mind you think is fine. People should keep indulging you in that more something you don't want to see the truth about. Yeah, I'm bossy. Yeah, I'm manipulative. Yeah, I'm kind of more about myself. You know, it's like, no, I've been there and I've done that. I'm leaving. I wish you peace. Page of Cups, I wish you peace. But yeah, you know, and then we go through that in a relationship. Some people right now are going through that in a relationship. And there comes a point, some people are not willing to detach from someone. And some of those people that they could love, it could be a mother figure in their life. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. You know, it could be their job. It could be the world. I'm not willing to become more independent of those things, to be more independent in the world and pursue my own life and live my own authentic life based on my truth. No, I'm going to there's people in my life that I'm codependent on. And if they're not going to move forward, then I'm not going to move forward. If they're not going to do life differently, then I'm not going to do life differently. Even though I might have people in my life that it would seem like, gosh, my dreams could come into reality with you. But I have these other people that if they're not willing to change their philosophy of life to be open to that, then I'm not going to be open to that. You know, and it's just like how the world can manipulate us. I'm not going to live my more authentic life because the world says, or I think, you know, so much of what we think is just, or how we view the world is just based on how we view the world and what we think it is, because there is no rule book every day telling us what the rules are today in the world. But what we think, oh no, people would not like that. I would have to go through a period of feeling left out in the cold. People wouldn't like me being more authentically myself. I'm afraid to be more authentically myself. I'm afraid to be more independent. And I am more codependent on what the people I think in the world want me to do and how I think they think I should live my life. You know, and people can get all caught up in this illusion of the world. For all they know, all the other people in their life are living their authentic life. Not letting all these things manipulate them. But, you know, we can all get caught up in the illusion of the world. Like, oh, well, no, I don't think those people do that. And I don't think, you know, I don't think these other people, you know, I think they're living their life like this. And so then I need to live my life like that. And those other people could really be living their authentic life and other people don't get it. They're still trying to kind of in a more codependent energy, trying to get the world or people in their life to love them or validate their worth and value, to tell them they can move forward in life differently, like looking to other people for approval. And as long as they don't think some other people in their world or the way they perceive the world, they won't go live their life more authentically. So that's why high vibe energy is about being more independent. You know, I have my own dreams. There are people in my life that I love. There's things I love about the world, things I like to invest in. But my intuition, I have my own unique life. I have my own things that motivate and inspire me. And if I'm going to go do something different than some other people in my life, oh well, I have the right to live my own life. High vibe people aren't trying to hurt anybody. They're not being rude and unkind. They're treating people the way they like to be treated, with love and respect. But they're not willing to make their life about conforming to other people. And sometimes we can get in relationships with people who are more conforming to the world. They're not willing to be more independent. They also can have people in their life who are more about conforming to the world, and you need to live your life like this, and you shouldn't be more authentically yourself, and you shouldn't be more independent in the world. We're all codependent on this illusion and trying to create this illusion about how wonderful and happy our life is. We're not living maybe our authentic truth. We're trying to create this illusion of how wonderful our life is. You should make your life that way too. And by the way, if you have someone in your life who is more bold and brave and confident, we don't like them. They need to go. Or we'll turn our back to you, because that's not the type of people we are. And some people are like, what? You don't support this? Well, then I'm going to align with you and I'll let those people go. So, for some of the people who dealt with some people like that, yeah, it's confusing, it's hurtful. I thought we were working together to bring a dream into reality, and it's like, high vibe Sagittarius, you're inspired to wrap your brain around this game of life. To have hope and faith and belief in your dreams and not let other people and the world and your ego manipulate you. We're meant to become free of things, our own shadow nature, our own more worldly, egoic nature, and things of the world that try to manipulate us to make us more conform to the world. That Bible verse. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Look at life from a higher perspective. You know, it's like we live in a world of duality. We have the knowledge of the tree of good and evil within us. The seeds of both were planted. We have free will to live our life whatever way we want. It all serves a purpose. People can see how different people choose to live their life. People then have their free will to choose to live their life whatever way they want. High vibe energy at the big picture represented by God, more shadowy, stagnant, let's not do anything different, represented by the devil. High vibe energy wants to keep bringing new things into reality. It doesn't want to stay stagnant and dead. Kind of like human beings didn't stay cave people forever. You know, human beings listen to their intuition and their imagination and their creativity, and we've manifested all these new things into the world. And if all those people, if nobody had been willing to step outside, that's like high vibe Aquarius energy, if nobody had ever been willing to step outside of societal norms, and if no one had ever been willing to listen to their intuition, if everybody would have kept doing things the way that things had always been done, all these things that we have manifested into reality wouldn't exist. But some people went within, and it's like, you know, I've communicated to these people. I'm not trying to do something hurtful or unkind. You know, I think there's, you know, we go through a phase of life. We kind of look at the things that work and don't work. Just like we did age 15, going to age 18, age 21. I can't keep maybe trying to be the exact same person I was at age 15 and keep taking on these new responsibilities or whatever, because I don't have room for them. I have these ways of being and acting that aren't conducive to me, like going to the next phase of life. I have got to look through what things need to change. What are the things that are still a good solid foundation to keep building upon? What were the things that I learned that I could have picked up, some traits and qualities and characteristics and ways of viewing life that maybe I should get rid of? Yeah, and that makes me think of that other Bible verse. when I was a child, I thought like a child, I spoke like a child, but when I grew up, I gave up my childish ways. There's things that we need to let go of, and part of it can be being stubborn and prideful. It can be being more immature. It can be being codependent. We're supposed to learn to be a leader in our own life, to learn how to love ourselves, become our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head instead of being codependent on other people to play that role in our life, to be an adult. I'm not looking for someone to replace my mom or my dad in my life. I'm not still a child, codependent on people to validate my worth and value and love me. Of course, I do think that is the hardest lesson to learn, is to learn to love yourself, because we were children for a long time in our life, and we are used to being codependent on other people to love us and validate our worth and value. But if we keep making our life about that, it causes us, I think, mental conflict, because no one can really fill that hole within us except ourselves. And so as we keep looking to things outside of us and other people to love us and make us feel abundant and stable and grounded and safe and secure, people can only provide so much. We have to do the rest. And then when we've learned to fill our own cup emotionally and love ourselves and appreciate our traits and qualities and characteristics, and we look to see what we need to let go of and what we should incorporate and where we need to grow and heal and mature ourselves, that's when we're really kind of standing in our power, and our dreams can really come into reality, because we've gotten out of these things that manipulate us. But we kind of get in those relationship dynamics. Some people right now could be communicating with some people. Either I was moving forward in a relationship dynamic that I wasn't seeing the truth of, and I realized that was causing me mental conflict, and those people are going to retreat. They could have been more about themselves. They could have been in relationships with people who are more about themselves. They thought their dreams were going to come into reality, and they could have realized I wasn't seeing the truth. There could be people in my life, a job that I was in that I love, people I was attracted to, but I really could have been, kind of feeling like it wasn't aligned with my truth, and I kind of felt left out in the cold. And so then we have to stop moving forward in the way we had been moving forward, and we need to take this time to go within to figure out what our truth is. And some people could be doing that right now. And when they work through their mental conflict about what is my dream, what is my truth, then I think those people will communicate to people in their life that they feel they would like to have move forward with them, to see if they'll move forward with them in that way. And if they won't, they're willing to wish them peace. And some of those people could be people they're in a romantic relationship with, or a workplace, or a friend. There comes a point in time, if we have been offering love and encouragement to people and they keep wanting to live their life the way they want to live it, we need to deal with the truth of it. Okay, so your dream and how you like to live life is different than my dream and how I like to live life. I've basically worked through my mental conflict about it. I wish you peace. I hope it works out for you. But I have a different dream, and I'm going to go take action to bring my dream into reality. If the people if there's some people in their life who are the people that they thought were the people who were on the same page as them, and some of those people they realize aren't, then they're going to go communicate to people in their world, I'm detaching from that foundation or that workplace or that friendship, and Are you on the same page as me? Do you want to come with me to bring this dream into reality? And high vibe people are offering people, they're being authentic, they're being honest, they're being truthful, they're probably telling them the lessons that they've learned. And some of those people will, and some of those people won't. It kind of gets to a place when people have kind of gotten clear about what their truth is, and they don't want to be in relationships with people who aren't on the same page as them. I wish you peace. I hope whatever way you want to live your life, live your life. Everybody's got free will. I have a dream. Who wants to come with? Who doesn't? You know? And if nobody, well, there's other people in the world who are on the same page as you. You know, it's basically all the people in the world who choose to be nice and friendly and kind and cooperative and inspiring and encouraging. And we probably have some people in our life between some adult children and friends and family members and coworkers. Sometimes it isn't a romantic interest, but I can't keep staying in a relationship with someone who wants me to indulge them in this old way of viewing life. If that's how they want to move forward, that's great. You know, they're going to have to find someone else to be in a relationship with them, and there'll probably be someone else who wants to be in a relationship with them doing things that way. Some people right now are feeling left out in the cold in those relationships. They're going to offer one more time, do you want to come with me like this? And if those people say no, those people are going to leave. No longer staying in denial that someone does not have the same dream as they do. What they want to invest their time, energy, and effort into, and what they're trying to manifest is different. I'm going to quit staying in denial, and I'm going to quit investing time, energy, and effort into you. And I'm going to go find other people who are on the same page as me. So, what is coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Aries energy that they might not see coming up? You know, and then the Three of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands are all Aries energy. I have a dream. Am I bold and brave enough to take action to communicate my truth to people in my life? This is my dream. I am no longer going to keep moving forward in my more immature, mentally conflicted, feeling left out in the cold nature. I am going to communicate my truth to people in the world that I've changed. I have learned some lessons in life. I am more inspired to, you know, it's kind of like I've learned to love myself so I don't keep repeating an old pattern that keeps me kind of stuck and stagnant and feeling left out in the cold. I'm not going to keep indulging my more immature nature. And I'm not going to keep indulging other people in their more immature nature. You know, we could just view living life at a certain phase of life. It's fine for everybody to be at these different phases of life, but I'm not at that phase of life anymore. And I want to move forward, and I'm willing to speak my truth about it. And for some people, that's why they won't move forward differently. They would have to maybe go through a period of feeling left out in the cold. They would have to detach from some things that they're emotionally connected to. They would have to be inspired to love themselves to do this inner work. And some people aren't inspired and may never be inspired, or just aren't inspired right now to work through these issues of why they could stay repeating old patterns where they feel left out in the cold and have mental conflict. I'm just going to keep trying to make it work out better. Okay. We've all been there. We've all done that. And that could be the phase of life that they're at. No, I'm going to keep working on them. Okay. We've all been there. They also might have to learn to love themselves. A part of themselves they keep hidden. Maybe they're more creative, inspired nature. You know, we've all got these lessons to learn in life, and I'm kind of thinking with the way some of the tarot readings have been going, you know, we have the heart, we have the mind, we have the 3D world, but then we do have our more creative, inspired, intuitive nature, and I'm starting to wonder if that's kind of the hardest one for people to wake up to be enlightened about. Because we get so caught up in these things of the world that, we've kind of been indoctrinated that this is what we should love. This is how we should live our life. These are the things we should invest our time, energy, and effort into. And we got a lot of lessons to learn in life. And that's what life is about, going out on these journeys, getting in these relationships and different jobs and friendships to try to help us get clear about our truth. And then the last one that could really come online within us is our more high vibrational fire sign energy, because we do have our passionate nature and our lustful nature and all these things we want to go indulge in, but that is in a more worldly way, but a more high vibrational fire sign energy of creativity and imagination and that spark of shining my own light and living my own truth. That can take a lot of life experience to get there. And some people, and it's kind of like these little sparks of life that let us throughout our life that help us move forward in life differently. And some people kind of keep rejecting that, and then they could harness a more worldly, shadowy Aries energy, still kind of really more motivated and inspired about being caught up in these things of the world that they want to indulge in. And we just need to see the truth of that. So we have the World card, the Six of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the reason that came out is because of the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy. There is all these things in the world that we want, and we go experience life. But the Six of Cups talks about, for the world can talk about learning lessons. If I want to keep growing to my full potential, I have to be willing to learn lessons in life, and I have to stop. The world can be closing out. I need to stop repeating these old patterns and maybe kind of emotionally investing more in my ego. I need to step into my truth. High vibe Leo, not my ego. I want to be more authentically myself. I have learned these lessons in life. I have gotten clear about what my truth is. I have learned to love myself. I have reconciled myself with the past. I have learned to give myself the things that I wish other people would have given me. I have come to peace about the past. I don't have an interest in repeating that past pattern. And there's some people that haven't learned some of the lessons that you've learned, because life is all about learning these different lessons, being enlightened to the truth. There's some people that haven't learned that lesson, and they're going to keep about maybe being willing to deal with their own mental conflict and be more independent and love themselves and detaching from things that they might need to detach from, because it kind of manipulates and controls them and kind of keeps them in a more codependent or immature way of viewing or living life. And they need to repeat that pattern just like we did for as long as it takes for them to want to deal with the truth. And for a long time, we cannot want to deal with the truth, because the truth requires that we take action. And we all know when we've been in some situations, we could have kept indulging some things and staying in situations until we were ready to take action and speak the truth. But we all are on our own journey. We all have to wait until we feel confident within ourselves to stand up for what we believe in and take that next step. And we could just see the truth that some people are still repeating an old pattern, and we're going to end relationships and investing maybe more time and energy into some people in our life who we know are at a stage of life and repeating a pattern that's appropriate for them, but we've already been there and done that. And so I probably won't hang out with you that much, because I could think that you seem to kind of be immature or codependent or bossy or controlling or stubborn or manipulative or indulging in things that I don't want to indulge in anymore, as much as maybe used to. So you closed out a cycle of like a layer of your ego level. And in our worldly nature, we have layers and layers of our worldly nature. Some people are at the top layers still learning lessons. Some people are farther down. Some people are way farther ahead than us. But there's a pattern and a cycle of life that you went through. You learned the lessons you were meant to learn from it, and you're ready to move on, believing in your dreams, listening to your intuition, and taking that action, listening to your intuition based on the lessons you've learned in that life experience, to you're ready to go to the next phase. If life is about learning lessons, it's like, okay, God, I learned the lesson. I do not like living my life like that. I met some people that I didn't really care for how they choose to live their life, and I'm ready for the next lesson. Bring it on. I'm open. And that's us kind of going with the flow of the universe. And the people in our life that are moving forward with us in that way, and they can be communicating people to people in their life, you want to move forward with us. We've just kind of shed a layer of our more immature, prideful, petty, envious, jealous, vengeful, whatever. Our shadow nature just goes on and on. Telling other people too, this is how I'm moving forward, and I'm kind of moving forward with these people. Do you want to come move forward with us? You want to work together more cooperatively from love. Have you learned how to treat other people the way you like to be treated? That's what we're doing over here. Who wants to come with? Not trying to manipulate anyone, not trying to control anyone, trying to work cooperatively from love. And there could be some people that would like to move forward with some of the people in their life that are more bold and brave and confident and loving or something than they are. But some of them can't, because the truth sets us free. And they still could have a lot of mental conflict because there's some truth about something that kind of has a hold on them. It could just be things within themselves. I kind of indulge my more immature nature. I kind of have this view of life where people are supposed to be like a mother to be, and I'm supposed to be able to be immature. And that's my philosophy of life and the kind of relationships I like to be in. I would have to change. Maybe I like to play that role in people's life, and you're not looking for someone to play that role in your life. You want someone who's more authentic, the Six of Cups, to have a more deep, meaningful relationship with. Someone who's more motivated and inspired to be authentic and loving. And I like to view myself as loving, and I like to be in relationships with people who are more codependent on me. And you're not, so I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Even though I would like to, because you're loving and you're warm and you're nurturing, I know that that's not my dream relationship. I like to be the boss. I like people to be codependent on me. What's coming up for the people who might harness a more shadowy or worldly Aries energy that they might not see coming up? The Queen of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Death card, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Judgment card. And the reason is because of the Seven of Pentacles. There can always be people in the world that like people, high vibe relationships are where I treat you the way you treat me. There's equal give and take. We're truthful, we're honest, we act with character and integrity. Otherwise, we could be kind of operating from our more worldly, shadowy, egoic nature. And it can be, I like to present myself as like that type of person, but I kind of a little bit more about myself. I kind of like to maybe use my emotions manipulatively. I might have some growing up and maturing to do, but I don't want you to know that. But you're going to find out sooner or later. And I'm hoping that if I can get you in a relationship and move forward with me in a relationship, that even when you come to realize the truth that I was kind of not being truthful and honest, and I do kind of like to be indulged in a relationship, or I do try to manipulate people, or I am kind of immature, or I kind of am full of myself, or I am more about being in the relationship because of the ego or the image or the money or the materialism. I'm hoping because you have mental conflict about it, you'll just stay in it anyway. Even when you realize your dream isn't going to come into reality. We can all have mental conflict and be in our ego once we've invested in something. And then they're counting on, I hope you're just going to keep putting a lot of work and effort to change me. That works for me. How long are you going to stay? 10, 20, 30 years? Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this whole relationship. All that time. It works for me. And all that time where they're not really being who they said they were. It's like somebody who committed fraud to get in a relationship. All that time that people are kind of indulging them in their shadowy ways is all the time that their dream is not coming into reality. And sometimes that can be us in our God complex, God Savior complex. Oh no, I can change them. God was working with them up until the time you met them, and God has been working with them all this time. And in their free will, they keep coming out more over here. No, 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 no. At what time are we willing to see the truth? If they were more motivated and inspired to be more just and fair, or act with character and integrity, or be more loving or nurturing or authentic, they would be. And that's when some people are like, when they're ready, they say, I'm done. One last time, I make an offer. Are you willing to come with me like this, or are you not? And same way some bossy people can be that way. They cannot like that some people love and believe in themselves and listen to their intuition. And they weren't willing to move forward with some of these kind of bossy, immature people. Even some of the bossy, immature people could come back to someone and say, are you ready to move forward with me in this way? And some of the high vibe people are like, no, that's not how I want to live my life. I have already reconciled myself with you being the way you are. And that is not my dream life. You're going to have to move forward with someone else. So some of the people who are kind of shadowy, what they don't realize is that eventually, if they have some more emotionally mature, loving, nurturing people in their life who are inspired by truth and love, that's their philosophy of life. The Seven of Pentacles, again, is Taurus energy. Those people are going to become more independent of them. And they're not going to want the same imbalanced relationship dynamic that they might have been willing to put up with before. They've changed. The Death card can talk about death and transformation. And the Death card is Scorpio energy, about our deep emotions and things and our dreams. We all go through a phase of life where we're kind of more caught up in our ego and these things of the world that we want to go indulge in. But some people kind of grow up and mature themselves. And they pick a path, because the difference between the 7 and the 9 is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles can be how you juggle back and forth. Like, I like people to view me this way, but I'm still kind of immature. I like people to view me this way, but I really have these things I like to indulge myself in. And I really haven't learned how to love myself, maybe, to really pick a path of love. But eventually, not everybody keeps juggling. Some people juggle all their life. Kind of like, I like to look like this, but I really am kind of tempted by this still, you know? And I really haven't committed to a path, either path. I want to go back and forth, you know? But eventually some people quit juggling. And they realize these things of the world that they used to think were so important to them, they've called judgment on it. That they want to be more independent of those things that manipulate them. And they want to live their authentic life. And if people want to move forward with them, those people have to get out of a more Seven of Pentacles energy to go to the next phase of life. And if people haven't, then those people are willing to detach from those people, holding themselves and other people accountable. And some people never saw that coming because they would maybe never become independent of some of those things. So they didn't think you would either. And it could have been ego, image, money, materialism, a job. You know, they would never leave it or those things or be more independent in the world. And they're shocked that some people in their life do that. And they did not see that coming. And that those people are more independent, that those people are less codependent on a foundation, on the world, making their life about money and materialism, or these things that they could be addicted to. And they didn't think people would do that. Another thing they might not see coming is that there's other people who could be single, who want to be in a relationship with them, who also could have gotten out of other relationships and are looking for someone else to invest in. They could be surprised. Maybe some of the people who they thought were more independent, that they couldn't manipulate. They can, and they didn't maybe see that coming. Maybe, you know, the whole thing is, some of these people also might find themselves left out in the cold because they do kind of take these immature actions and they want to be indulged in a relationship. And, you know, it was one way to be that way when you were 21. It's another thing as you keep going through life and you keep being unwilling to kind of grow up. You know, and it's harder to find someone who's more naive and gullible that's going to keep putting up with some people's shit, right? And some of these people, though, no, I'm the boss, I am sure, you know, and they might look like a boss in the world, male or female in some way. They could be, you know, fire sign energy. They could be attractive. They could be charming. They could have social clout. They could have money. There's probably always going to be some other people who want to invest in them. But if these people are more, have a way of viewing life where it is about this unbudging way of being, they're going to have other people that are going to end being in a relationship with them. And some of them have gotten in new relationships, and some of the people that they're currently in a relationship with are going to end a relationship with them too. Because other people have done this work within themselves to grow and heal and mature themselves. And some of these people are like, no, I refuse to deal with some truth of something I maybe should let go of. And if they do find someone who's on the same page as them, maybe it's someone who is willing to stay in the relationship with them more because of their own codependency. They don't like being single because of the ego or the image or the status or something. But it won't be a truly abundant foundation because from the 7 to the 10 is the 3 of Pentacles. Might not even be a relationship where people work cooperatively together. Might be where both people are kind of immature. Where both people are codependent, where both people try to manipulate each other, where both people try to make the other person feel left out in the cold, and I'm going to go pay attention to these people, and you need to chase after me. Well, now it's my week. You get left out in the cold, and I'm going to chase after these other people, and you're supposed to chase after me, you know? Some people also, we can all stay stuck because there's people that we would like to have be in a relationship with us. Why are some people more hung up on some people than other people? That person could really be someone who would really is like the epitome of why these people are the way they are. And if they could get in a relationship with that person, it would really be a mirror to themselves, or they remind them of people that made them be people that are like this, or give up on their dreams or something. And it would make them have to deal with the truth once and for all. But the whole thing is, we don't have to have those. I mean, if you've ever been where you've been in a relationship with someone where it's like, oh my God, why can I not get this person out of my system? Sometimes it's because we really do have a lot of life lessons learned from them. They're not someone our dreams can come into reality with, but we haven't learned to love ourselves. And that person can be the epitome of someone who is not going to love us, but they represent all those things and people that we were trying to get to have love us. But we can do the work within ourselves so we don't, again, we're not codependent on having certain people in our life to help us learn those lessons and see those truths and heal those wounds. We can do the work within ourselves. If we take this time maybe alone just to get to know ourselves, do the things that we enjoy that make us happy, figure out what makes us happy, love ourselves, reflect on those issues from the past and work through them emotionally. I didn't like it when they acted like this. That hurt me. And get over being in our ego about it. Everybody is the way they are. We can only contribute as much as we could contribute to the situation not working out. But a lot of times some of that wounding happened when we were children. And we were hopeful and believing, and we wanted people to work with us. But we were dealing with adults probably who had their own issues. And then as we become adults, we realize, we're not perfect. We didn't, it's just to realize people are where they're at. If they were a more loving, nurturing person, they would have been a more loving, nurturing person. If they were bossy and controlling and egotistical and self-centered, they were. And it doesn't have anything to do with us. Everybody's their own unique human being. Everybody has their issues. Everybody has their things that they don't want to see the truth of. Some people aren't very inspired by love and being nurturing. And it doesn't have anything to do with us or say anything about our worth and value. And when we can kind of work through those things, it's like, I'm not going to let people in my past who are hurtful or unkind or unjust or unfair or whatever they were, not very loving, not very nurturing. They have their own shadowy nature, and I'm not going to let people who didn't choose to be in high vibrational energy keep me in negative energy. And I can be inspired to do this work to free myself from it and not let negative people who weren't maybe as good a leader in the world as I would have liked them to have been, keep me from having my dreams come into reality. That would mean negative energy got like two people. One person had their issues, and then other people who were hopeful and believing gave up on their dreams, and now shadowy energy got two people stuck in negative energy. No, I'm not repeating that pattern. That could be why some of the people in my life were the way they were, because of people in their life that they grew up and ways they were when they were children. It's like, I'm not going to repeat that same pattern. I am going to do this work to free myself. And with the people in my life, I want to be the best leader I can be. I want to offer love and encouragement with people. I want to treat other people the way I want to be treated. I'm going to require that people treat me in a just and fair manner. Then they'll learn that people should treat them in a just and fair manner. I'm not going to indulge people in their poor behavior because I don't want the people that I love to indulge other people in their poor behavior. We need to quit repeating this pattern, and everybody needs to do this work within themselves and be a good leader in their life. And there's some people in the world that want to just be more about themselves, and they could want to be single. They don't want to be in a long-term relationship. Some of them they would like to, but because they kind of have these issues that they don't deal with, they might end up single, and they didn't expect that to happen because they could have thought they were all that, and everybody can end up being single or single for a while. But other people, it doesn't bother them because I don't define my worth and value or think it says something about my worth and value if I am in a relationship or not. But some of the people who are more about their ego and their image, it really could bother them to be single because they feel like that says something about them. But because they kind of have these, expect people to chase them, have these issues that they don't want to deal with, they could end up single because people don't want to invest in them. I think the high vibe, and that'll probably bother them, and they'll have mental conflict about it, and they'll look at the people who love themselves, who listen to their intuition, who learn lessons in life, who free themselves from things that manipulate them, and they're kind of going on an adventure in life. They might not have all the things that they want in life either, but they're at least being authentically themselves. They're living their truth. They've healed. And these other people are like, how are you living your life like that? When I don't know, anyway, well, we'll leave it there. Aries energy, I wish you peace, love, and joy. I won't see you next time. Bye-bye.